It's very hard nowadays to think that churches were all painted. Alright, my name is Cedric, you're watching Laughing Museum. Thank you so much for joining. I'm here in Paris in front of that fantastic church named Saint-Germain-l'Auxerrois. It is a fantastic piece with probably the best gargoyles in Paris, by the way. If you can't enjoy the gargoyle of Notre Dame because they're up high and there's a line or whatever, just come right here. I am right behind the Louvre, which is just behind the trees right there. So after your visit of the Louvre, eventually with me, you can come right here. And I love that church for many, many reasons. I'm just going to give you a few. Number one, I just told you that these churches used to be fully painted. And there, if you look carefully, you still have some example of the original colors that the church used to have. So you have to imagine all the 6 saints right there, and even the Holy Virgin holding the baby Jesus, all painted. I remember at one point, so you see some red, you see some blue. I remember at one point there was still some gold leaf. You see some pigment right there on the face of those little creatures right there. You know those creatures like the gargoyle, they're here to put away the evil eye, so that's one thing. And the gargoyle per se, the one I was just showing you earlier right there, and I'm going to try to put one in detail. They have a double function about putting away the evil eye. It's also spitting the water to relieve the weight of the water on the roof of that fantastic church, Saint-Germain-l'Auxerrois. We have 2 Saint-Germain in Paris. We have a Saint-Germain-des-Prés, which is on the left bank. Why Saint-Germain-des-Prés? Because he was in the countryside back in the days. And this why Saint-Germain-l'Auxerrois? Because the bishop running that church used to come from Auxerre in French, in the about a 2-3 hours drive from Paris. I love that church for many, many reasons. This is one of the last church, not one of the last, the last church in Paris who still have an authentic porch. So that means a first vestibule outside. So if it's rainy day outside the Louvre one day, just come here and enjoy that church just behind the Museum of the Louvre. No, I love it for many reasons. You see, you have all these figures everywhere. It's filled with detail. Of course, it is a Gothic church. It is an evolved Gothic church. Now, I'm going to tell you a story about probably the saint I prefer right there, or at least the one that is moving me the most, and that is quite a known character right there, at least not super famous in the Bible, but I really love her, and you probably find her life in the Golden Legend. I have to double check that. Her name is called Mary the Egyptian. This Mary the Egyptian went to the desert because she lost her entire family, including kids, and she decided to renounce to everything, and she only went with a piece of bread that you can see right there. I'm really not good at this, right? And a miracle happened, and these breads have been multiplying, and to express that, she spent a lot of time renouncing the famous sannyasi, in French sannyasin in India, is the length of her hair. If you look at the hair is very long, and she came out of the cave fully nude, only covered with her hair, so it's still very decent. Another thing here is an event that happened in 1572, which is a sad event for France, when they decided to condemn the Protestant faith and the movement to the massacre we call the Night of the Saint-Barthélemy, which actually lasted a few days and became a kind of a snowball effect in all the country. Started right here, the signal was given right here in that church, and it will change the history of this country forever. Nevertheless, I love that church more than really everything. I'm not coming in right now because it's mostly that porch. You can have everything. Okay, maybe a little joke. We never think about that, but Gothic art can be very funny. So look at that saint right there. I really need to take a class on how to do this. I admire the weather people that are doing it on TV all the time. So basically that girl right there, right? It's funny because we've always been wondering what she's holding in her right hand, and I'm going to try to put a closer picture of her at one point. And now we are thinking in her right hand, she's holding a candle, and that little guy up there next to her shoulder, oh right there, I'm doing better at that, okay, is, I really have space problem, this guy right there is kind of blowing on the candle. So is he blowing at that candle to mess with her so she has to light the candle again, or is he blowing at the candle, it's kind of a gentle way, or is it a little game? We don't really know, but the point is like the game is on, and I love Gothic figure. You can also admire their very, very long figure as well. That was Saint-Germain-l'Auxerrois. My name is Cedric. You've been watching Laughing Museums. Please come in Paris, enjoy this period, join a visit if you feel like it. You can have a private tour in Paris, so join my Love Your Ways to the Louvre, or I'm going to D'Orsay to do 2 tours today. You have the link to my book in the description, and no matter what you do, remember, if you're not doing it with a smile, well, you're doing it wrong.